The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership Podcast. It's yet another edition of The Big Issue. And of course, I hope you had a very wonderful weekend. As usual, I'm your regular host, George Jagba, and with me here in the studio, our in-house analyst. We have Silas Izogu.
You're welcome.
And of course, Chibuzos Ukaibe.
Thank you.
Very vibrant political analyst. Is here with us. Well, for the big issue of the day, it is the 2023 campaigns bill kickoff on Wednesday, September 28th. Well, Nigerians are expecting a lot as the campaigns is bill to kick off, as they expect to hear what the candidates of political parties have in stock for them that should warrant their mandate. Most Nigerians are actually worried that the trend has not changed from the regular issues of ethnicity, religion, and partisanship. And of course, this has led to certain issues that have arisen from the discourse on the 2023 general elections in the past few days. On the other hand, we have the APC, the Governing All Progressive Congress, where the list of the Tinubu Shetima Campaign Council is almost tearing the party apart. Most members of the party feel very aggrieved that they were not carried along. We have the governors who are reportedly said to be angry over the constitution of the campaign team. And of course, we have the other party bigwigs, like the former Secretary to Government of the Federation, former Speaker of the House of Representatives, whose names were omitted from the list, crying foul that the presidential candidate of the party is beginning to show before even becoming president that he is not the kind of person that one should bank on that will carry Nigerians along. Well, let's see how it goes. Silas, what do you think about the campaign so far? And what do you see at the few days to the kickoff of the campaign? What have you seen so far? And what do you think the trend will look like?
Yes. Thank you, Judge, for that question. In my own opinion, the campaigns had already even started already. You're waiting for the official flag off.
Otherwise, September 28th date is just.
The positions are too crafty. They'll tell you that do consultation. All this, crisscrossing the country. In fact, instead of even doing the primaries already, the messages they were sending to the outside, to the public, to the audience then, who say, some of them were stakeholders and the delegates and co. It was a message that was meant for the whole public. But we can give them, okay, that was for primaries. But what will this obedient march all over the country, what will you call that? It's campaign. They'll be campaigning, talk to people about their candidate, what it's going to do. On TV every day, we see people espousing the philosophies behind the candidacy of Atiku Abubakar of the PDP and Siwaju Bola Tinubu of the APC. You see people committedly speaking about what they will do. That's campaign. That's campaign. So, to me, this guideline about campaign kickoff was a guideline. I won't call it a rule, but there was nothing the commission put in place to hold in check politicians from breaching, this campaign timing. If you preach it, you're going to preach. That's why, people are looking at that campaigning, talking about what they're going to do. That's campaign. But we have Wednesday at the official flag of. expect to see more intense engagement with the public, more people who have not joined the fray. You can see the main parties have listed their um, campaign councils, long list of small politicians of the past and present, try to accommodate as many as they can, and those who are not accommodated will be feeling screaming out that they'll be left out. They want to share part of the, because if you take part in the campaign, you're more likely to get something, a role to play. The government will come, know how much you work and how much success you get. But if you are left out for now, so of them I feel like they're left out now. That means maybe going further, they will not be part of whatever is going to happen if the candidate wins. That's why they're screaming. Politicians want to be involved in whatever is happening. They want to be part of the game. That's why their relevance matters. Same. So I expect to see more intense street. I expect to see more billboards. For billboards now, all over the cities, springing up. Work for the boys, for artists, for printers, for those who produce jingles for television stations.
The campaign economy.
The campaign economy is going to boom. And a lot of people already, waiting there, waiting for how much of this you can flow into their own
Personal
pockets. And that's why people who are not in the campaign council are screaming, because for all those people who are in the campaign council, money will be made available for spending. Especially when some of the people who are going for election are going to have deep pockets and have bullion funds. So a lot of people are already waiting. In fact, there are a lot of campaign groups who have formed themselves, set up social nationwide, waiting for the money to what? Come in.
Countless campaign groups.
Who are, some of them have shortlisted already by now. And their credibility, once it's been checked out, that once they come, they send in the hundreds of millions of billions, guys will get something doing. Money will flow, and that's what people are waiting for. So it's going to be a certain time for those who are in the fear.
Even smiling.
No,
but
Silas is very correct. You know why Silas?
I'm smiling because
especially the aspect spoke about this campaign group.
Yes, these are flat now. I know a lot of guys who are waiting for this to reflect them somehow. This economy is down a lot. So a lot of people are waiting for this thing to get some kind of leverage.
The battalions of campaign groups.
I'm just amused at what's going to play out.
And you see, if care is not taken, and they don't, I think somebody said they should even treat this campaign group now as Yahoo boys, because most of them are not genuine. People sitting down with their computer in the room, they start creating statements, sending, and they say it's a group. Go and ask them the constitution of that group, the number of their
members. So where is their base, their office? That is nothing. They just on paper. They have a good list waiting, and they're waiting for the money to come in, so they can go in.
Well, Chibuzo, before we go into the candidates proper and how the trend will be in terms of their campaigns and their manifestos, let's look at the APC. Naturally, Silas said, well, it is ordinarily the idea of the crime foul is as a result of the fact that most of them have been left out in the share of the largesse. And of course, one would have a point with some of them who have been crime foul, like Baba Chelawa, Dugara, and some governors said to be very angry because some of the names they presented, they did not see it. Sure, that even made the APC campaign council to even come out today to issue another statement and say the list they even released is not the final list.
Yes,
that is a supplementary list.
Yes.
So how would they be releasing this list? In piecemeal, that is what they're thinking. And look at the list. Somebody who is not a member of APC, his name was found as the former Enugu state governor and the Senate
padded into
under the platform on the platform of PDP was padded into that list. And the campaign council is coming out to say no, they brought him in his personal capacity as a friend to the presidential candidate. How can that be possible? Of course, seeing that kind of a thing is enough to make party faithful to be angry. Oh, you leave me and you're going to bring a PDP member and say, how would you look at that kind of a situation?
Well, it's not strange that you would have this kind of grumblings. Because no matter how you constitute such campaign councils, like considering how important and how strategic it is for political actors who want to be big timers in the coming administration. As Mr. Silas rightly pointed out, the place of relevance in the making of the next president. How strategic it is going to be for them. So it's expected that when they don't see their names in setups or this kind of lineup, they are going to raise issues, and it's expected. It's also expected that parties are not in the drafting of these names. When you have for big parties, where you have a lot of interest and a lot of people who identify with them, the possibility of omitting some names is quite there too. Because even in the PDP, there are also such complaints that we didn't see our name and all of that, and so it's expected. And so that's why the concept of supplementary lists is there. Just like the supplementary budget they do in the federal system. So they bring those to make up for mistakes that were made. So, as for the Chimaroke thing, I had Justice Kayamo talking about it yesterday, and he was trying to say, okay, the person whose name is there, the Chimaroke, has not complained about it. So why should it be an issue? But I do get your point. That how come you are putting people who are not party members ahead of party members? It shows, it smacks of a disregard in some sense, or of course, disregard for party members who have been toiling and doing everything for the party, and at the end of the day, some people will just put names of people who are not party members. At least party members should get priority before no matter how.
Sorry to cut you short again. I'm even wondering how this will even work out, because that is a very serious issue. Chimaroke is a card-carrying member of the PDP. Now the PDP, what would they say? Seeing a serving PDP senator's name in on the list of a political opponent, and not that political party you are even planning, you are serious competition with. What will PDP feel? That's a clear indication that Chimaroke will be campaigning for Tinubu of the APC and not Atiku of the PDP.
Absolutely. And it is even more interesting that this list has been out for how many days, and Chimaroke has not come out to say, no, take my name out of this. Because Festus Keyamo made that challenge yesterday. He said the person whose name is there has not complained. So why are you crying? In fact, at a point, it almost became an issue between him and the presenter. Why are you crying more than the bereaved, so to say? But I think the onus is on Chimaroke to come out and say, my name is, yes, I'm a friend. They were all contemporary. He was a contemporary.
Yeah, they were co-governors
at the same time. So he's a friend of, I remember the long love letter he wrote about Tinubu. So for some, it's not surprising that his name is there. But it is shocking that he has not come out to really give context on this. But, these are political times. At times, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. And you could pretend not to know what is playing out and, turn a blind eye. If it works out, fine. If it works this other way, fine. But the thing is, on Naman, to really prove where his loyalty is. Because at these times that are very fluid, one can be too sure.
Well, I will wonder how the PDP will handle this. Although the party has not come out to actually reacted openly in that direction, but I think in the real sense of the term, that true. If Chimaroke gives his consent to his name being in the list of the APC, that is exactly what political parties will always call anti-party activities, isn't it? But let's just take a short break, hoping that our viewers will begin to contribute constructively to the conversation on the big issue. Don't go offline. We'll be back in a moment.
sponsorship, and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
All right, welcome back. We're still on the big issue in leadership podcast, and of course, the big issue of the day is the 2023 campaigns due to commence on Wednesday, September 28th, 2022. And of course, the All Progressive Congress has said that it will begin this very campaign with a prayer session. Of course, it has to do with God coming into the mix too, because of course you can't keep God out. After that, it will now embark on a 1 million march, the way the Labour Party presidential candidate and his followers have been doing all this while. Well, but coming back to what we were saying, that is left for PDP to decide. They achieve Maroke's name on the APC's list. But for now, let's look at Keyamo himself. Keyamo too is not finding it easy. A report just broke this afternoon, today afternoon, that the President Muhammadu Buhari and the presidency are calling for the removal of Keyamo as the spokesman of the campaign team. That Keyamo has been demarketing the Buhari administration. The online report said the president and the cabal at the villa are not happy over Keyamo's utterances, which does not seem to be projecting a government which he is a minister. That, for instance, they say Keyamo said Nigerians are just tired, they are just waiting for another president to take over. And that is Tinubu, forgetting that the government he is actually demarketing or talking down, and as if maybe Nigerians are tired of is his own government, in which he is also a minister, a cabinet member. And in his own response, Keyamo on Twitter said, very funny fake news. When people feel uncomfortable with your uncompromising defense of your mandate, they promote such fake news to achieve a purpose. The opposition think they can plant stories to destabilize our ranks. This is the height of panic mode. They find themselves. And if that story is anything to go by, then you will now say that ahead of the campaign, there is even war in the camp of the devil. Let me not just say the devil anyway. So you see, with things like this, just you see that the APC self is not even, it's not even out of the woods. Like the PDP that has been battling with themselves, following in Wike's adamants. And at the end of the day, Silas, do you know, in all this, the major actors are not in the country. The presidential candidate of the APC and his deputy, they took off to London, that they want to go and is that hibernating, or they say they want to go and cool their heels first and refresh before coming back for the campaigns. And at the same time, feelers reaching us is that governor of Benue State and perhaps even Wike, they are out of the country. So that the campaigns see through are not even only in Nigeria. They are taking the campaign out of the shores of the country. How would you describe this? That means the 2023 campaigns will be quite different from the ones.
Diaspora
Campaign. How would you react to this, Silas?
So I read an editorial where the Nigerian politicians were called upon to stop joking around going to discuss Nigerian issues in foreign lands because of the dangers they expose Nigeria to manipulation by foreign forces. Those not interested. Recently, that shows was the kind of story of a journalist in Nigeria who was another journalist activist claimed that the U.S. national gave a bomb to plant in the Bashar regime. So you can see what foreign that matter has not been fully discharged, the truth of it. But when such a thing happens, you can see how much foreign interest can try to kind of manipulate what happens to your country. So to now take your political meetings to foreign land, where they can bug you and know what you're thinking of doing and can monitor you. It's not healthy. So you talked about the person they want to cool off and they come back, energized for the campaign. I remember when Barry came in, newly was hearing when because Barry has gone abroad, come back, come looking very, very strong like a 50-year-old. So maybe they want to get this kind of treatment abroad so they can also be ready for the
And if you look,
campaign.
the whole thing looks like competition. It was just, was it yesterday or today when Atiku arrived?
From
I don't know
space.
whether the national chairman of the APC too has returned or is still there.
You can see that these people are they are they're not people that they're not people who are looking at Nigeria from that nationalistic you know view. The people who are used to being overlords and they have this I say this work mentality that everything foreign is better than local. So maybe it also confers to them a status symbol that they can fly and come back. But they're not looking at the impact economically, the impact socially, the impact in terms of how Nigerians see them. So I just wish that they will be more sensible and more sensitive to the issues in Nigeria and sit down and our problems can be solved from here. Okay? So they need to fly up and down, but they know what they're doing. Possibly, like there's some special that maybe they want to have another meeting, but they can have a meeting in Nigeria where nobody will see them. The people are just being discreet about it. So waiting. I don't want a special candidate that will not spend that kind of money. So that some of them will not even spend.
Will spend which money? Do you know the billions that will sink into this campaign?
Oh.
Already,
That to me, this is
the
wastage.
presidential candidate of the APC, Bola Tinubu, has actually engaged the services of a private firm that runs this helicopter business. And the idea is that the helicopter company will be the
Right.
one that will manage his movement across the country, fly him from one state to the other. You know the kind of money that firm will make. And then you know that even in the list, while APC members are crying foul, they even left them and went and brought people who don't have any business with the party, Nollywood artists, musicians, and the rest. About 22 of them are on that list. You see, that is to show you the extent to which they want to go in ensuring that they win the election. But they do it to the detriment of their own selves and their party because some of these steps they are taking. Do you see artists being instrumental to campaigns, or you just bring them to validate and give credit to what you are doing? Oh, if a Peter Edoche is in my campaign team, then whatever APC is doing, it's credible. That is the thinking.
Well, just they always look for this at the tenants endorsement. Even when we had the Democrats and the Republicans, we had some tenants being part of the process. So some of them have a lot of following.
Of course.
They have a lot of following.
I'm even surprised that they are not even gone abroad to bring foreign musicians like
they have a lot of
Beyonce
following, and they feel like possibly
what is this girl Rihanna that they say is that even has an Igbo ancestry.
So
to show how the presidential candidate is even accepted globally. It's funny.
So it's possible that they feel that these people can add value, add some feeling to the campaign. In what's those states? That's states. You can see how much they will do. Try to help his uncle to win the election by engaging the youth and using his skills, music skills, and popularity to get young people to his side. And they won the election. So
no, but that one is understood. Even the governor elect, or those he has been sworn in, him too is an artist. That dancing senator, if you see him, you will know that he's really a dancer.
Yes, but he needed help from some other dancers, So and you can see that some of these tenants have been painting a visit. So he feels that this will can add value. See, he's the one running for election. He's the one putting his money on the ground. So he knows where his money should be channeled to. He won't just give it to party members who may just spend the money and don't
Just
deliver
don't.
for it. It's with putting the people he thinks can help him win the election. So I do not want to blame him for that. It is election to win or lose.
Well, then, Chibuzo, let's look at one aspect. Now we look at the campaigns itself. You have always resonated the issue of issue-based campaigns here. And of course, we know that the 2023 elections will not just be a thing between two major parties with new entrants like Peter Obi and the Kwankwaso factor. Most Nigerians feel that there is even going to be a runoff. And of course, that too has even been causing bad blood. Last weekend, the Tinubu campaign organization issued a statement attacking the leader of the Apex Yoruba Socio-Cultural Organization, Pa Adebanjo. And Pa Adebanjo's scene is that he has been supporting Peter Obi all the way. And, the position of the Afenifere, and especially Pa Adebanjo, is that the Southeast has been shortchanged. It would have only been fair that they allow Peter Obi to clinch that presidency now. The Tinubu campaign organization said no. Adebanjo is not speaking. He's speaking for himself. And of course, they accuse him of trying to turn the Afenifere group into a franchise. You see the kind of thing playing up. What happens to issue-based campaign, especially when Nigerians have so many options with four major candidates now, because you can't rule out Kankwan also, the presidential candidate of the NMPP, who happens to hail from Kano State, where you have the highest votes, if not in the country, or in the northern region.
What's the
The issue here is that with all this playing out, do you see the candidates really engaging themselves on issue-based campaigns, or still dwelling on inanities?
whether they give us issue-based campaign will not necessarily be up to them. It will be up to the other gatekeepers, the media, civil society, and the Nigerian people. Left for them, if these stakeholders make it easy for them, they would necessarily want to invade it and focus on sentiments, because they would want to believe that uh, the more you feed Nigerian sentiments, likely their chances of winning play along lines of religion, ethnic affiliations, and the propensity to dispose easy goodwill, and the right to power, promising people positions and all of that, right into power, and not really tell people the real issues and give clear, cut, concrete, verifiable, robust answers to the major problems we face. Of course, the problems we face are not strange to us anymore. I think if you meet the average secondary school student today, it can give you a clear idea of challenges we are facing. And if you also ask the candidates, of course, they always have something to say as to what to do. But the needs all of that, banal engagement is the how they intend to do it. And I think that is where but I'm not going to pretend that um, the a good portion of Nigerians are ready for that kind of discourse, because we have to face facts. The reality is that perhaps a good number of Nigerians might not have and this is not an intent to run down anybody, or run down a group of people, or run down, but that intellectual engagement at the level of what they intend to do, I don't think we are hitting that enough. And I know there are specific publics for that kind of engagement. The LCCI, the Chambers of Commerce just did some, and we had, so we need to cascade more of that along other. MBA also did that, but we need to stretch that a bit more across other publics in that community, so that at least we have a clear signal on how each individual intends to tackle some of these well-known problems. I think hopefully before the end of the campaigns, we might see much more of that. Nothing stops the MBA. No, the medical, how do you call it now? NMA,
NMA,
to hold such things as well. Nothing stops the NUJ from doing same. Nothing stops the what's that one? Even as the education sector, if the highest body can also,
NLC,
it's unfortunate that
TUC.
exactly it's unfortunate that we have come this far in the campaigns, and that might not be possible because the next stage we are entering now will be more of traveling from one part of the country and doing all of the shouting slogans and renting crowds and all of that. They have their own places. That process has its own place too in the campaigns. There's no ruling that now. But one would have expected, that the more, at least the real publics that would help for policy formulation and all of that, would help to shape thinking, would have something much more robust along those lines.
Well, thank you, Chibuzo. Already, the conversations, according to some Nigerians, are taking the dimension of ethnic profiling and divisive campaign because the supporters of the leading candidates are also tearing each other apart on the social media. And most Nigerians say, we cannot continue like this. This is what we had in 2019, in 2015, and in other past elections. Well, Silas, there's no time on our side again, but at least in just few seconds, what message will you have for Nigerians as we go into the campaign?
Social media.
I think that those army and social media, they should shade their souls. The politicians, they are drawing their daggers from our friends. They eat together, they drink together, they fertilize very well. You see them, those who are the only thing is they're all fighting for some common interest, their own personal interest. And some of them they pretend that cascading across national interest. What they need to do is to scrutinize the candidates carefully and look at people that are getting a message of putting Nigeria ahead of every other thing. That's what they should look at. Instead of slamming people, insulting everybody that doesn't agree with you. You're not even a democratic process. You have to also give room for that who have different opinion. If someone doesn't agree with you, fine, has the right to that. They're going to be able to call him names, insult this for that, grandfather, and call him. Those things are not helpful. If they want to use the next place, can use it for constructive engagement to put the issues on the table and let it be discussed frequently so that we reach the political discourse ahead of the vote. But this order of just throwing everything, throwing the kitchen sink and the toilet against those who are not opposed to their own views is not helpful. So let's, like what I said, let this campaign. He talked about ethnic religion. That's not the issue. The issue should be who can build Nigeria out of this mess. We are in a mess. And I mentioned that even ministers in the government are said to have said we're in a mess. So who among the candidates has more capacity, credibility, competence, character to change the narrative, to change the way we've done things that are pushed over with that? That's what we should be looking at. What other things are secondary?
Thank you very much, Silas. Well, the message is clear. Just like the late Nigerian reggae maestro, Magic Fashek, said, for so long, we've been fooled around. And Nigerians cannot continue to be gullible. And the 2023 elections present yet another opportunity for them to make the right choice, beginning from the campaigns that to kick off on Wednesday. Thank you for keeping tab out there with us. And of course, our thanker, in-house analyst, for addressing the big issue. Join us same time tomorrow for another edition of this program. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.